for 4 decades, pushing 5, and we're going to have to kick him out because he's going to keep doing it. We hope he does, because he's a great coach and a great guy. He served as the head coach at St. Charles Catholic for the last 18 years, winning a state championship with the Comets in 2011, got his team to the state championship as well on another occasion, and did a great job throughout the time he's been there, but also previously, whether it's at Riverside, Lutcher, Jesuit, wherever he's been an outstanding football coach. St. Charles Catholic 7-2, and they will visit Metairie Friday afternoon, the Friday afternoon special, to take on the Country Day Cajuns this Friday. Please give a warm Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation Quarterback Club welcome to Coach Frank Monaco, St. Charles Catholic High School.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you for inviting me each year. You continue to have low standards, so it gives me a chance to come. And thanks on my behalf, Vic, for cooking the spaghetti, the Italian spaghetti, or the long rice as we call it. Thank you for doing that. All the guys, thank you, Kevin, the 2 Kevins here in the audience that's helped me previously at St. Charles Catholic, financially and with the labor also. But our program right now at St. Charles Catholic is, let me correct Kenny, one thing, in case you weren't wondering, it's been 40-something years I've been coaching, and people ask me, Coach, when do you give it up? I have 33 more years to go, then I'll be 100. So, so not there yet. That's a lot of third down and longs. I want you to understand that. I used to be 6'4". There's a lot of things that are happening in that school. In our school, we have a capital campaign going on with improvements, physical improvements. Our football team is presently 7-2, and we play Country Day on Friday, and Country Day's program has been a big resurgence there. One of my old coaches, one of the young coaches that used to be on my staff, and I'm going to coach against him on Friday, and I just hope he takes it easy on the old man on Friday. But our football team is, I think, at the beginning of the year, we played 3 5A schools, we're a 2A school, and we had to actually escalate our program a little bit faster. I think we had to install things a little bit faster. And, you know, I'm one of those firm believers that a football program team has so many emotional highs a year. I really believe that, and I really think we used up a lot of emotion in preseason, and I don't know if we've hit our stride in district play yet, and we have not played up to snuff in district play. So hopefully we can get that going, and because as you know now, everybody is trying to do the so-called competitive balance thing. There's a thing with the select, non-select thing that's going on. It's going to be voted on in January again. But the playoffs right now are it's just a sham. The playoffs, the way that they orchestrated, it's really, it's not fair. Right now, that we're only going to have 16 on our bracket in 2A, the people that do make it, and on 5As have 10. The 3A is going to have 10, and I mean, so and the 3 and 4 have combined. So basically, in New Orleans, you're actually having a New Orleans championship all over again. And so what's going to take place, the 2 proposals up there, I think they will be tweaked a little bit. Mr. Bonine, I think, is trying to do his best to see if he can get it all back together. What people do not realize, Louisiana is a unique state where there's 70 private schools in Louisiana. There are only, I don't know if many of you aware of this, there are only 12 5A schools north of I-10. And there are a lot of parochial schools along I-10. And a lot of other schools have cropped up also. And so what's happened, we're unique. And when people try to compare us to a Texas, a Tennessee, a New Jersey, you can't. Because it's a heavy, parochial system here. And so is it ever going to go back? I don't know. I think that I'm a firm believer that I think that could be something, the competitive balance everybody's trying to get, and that people like the fact that some people can't get to the Superdome the old way, but 9 championships is far too many. It's like T-ball, everybody gets a trophy, and everybody feels good nowadays, and I don't think that's the way we should go, because, you know, for instance, our program, I've yet to sign a kid to an SEC scholarship, and I said, you know, we've had kids that signed before. I've been 18 years there. And you know, Steve and I used to share the back of the plane when I was at Tulane for those 12 years, and that, you know, that we know how important it is to get good talent out of high schools. Well, there's some schools out there that sign in 5 or 6 in their program each year, but yet those same schools are saying that there's some things that are going on that are illegal. If that's the case, let's make sure that we, you know, let's treat the symptoms and not the cause, and that's what we're doing. We're treating the symptoms and not the cause. But anyway, I hope that things take place that are different. My big question is, what do we do after that? The other thing that's happening in athletics, I think that's aware of, the non-school sports, the multi-sport. I don't know how many of you out there played more than one sport. I think everybody here played more than one sport. But now what people are doing, they're specializing, and the reason is it's non-school sports. You have the AAU people that are taking kids away, and you're putting kids in basketball. You have the select soccer. You have travel baseball, and it's making these kids choose one sport. And I don't think that's good. When you talk to people about rotator cuff surgery and people of that nature, it's overuse. It's just overuse where these kids are not getting a break, I think. And I need kids that are good basketball players playing football. I need good baseball players that are playing football, and vice versa. I think that's important. I want the kid that's been at the line on one-on-one when the game's on the line in basketball. I want the kid that's been up to the plate when the base are drunk and is 3-2-1. That's the guy I want on my football team. I think that's important, and there's a season for that. And the LHSA has gone way overboard to get seasons so kids can do that. At our school, we have a no-cut policy, and we do that for the reason being that so a kid can enjoy more than one sport. I think that's fantastic. Even if he's not going to go to college to play it, only 2% of all high school kids go on to play college ball of any sort. So I think it's important that he enjoys that experience when he's there, and at least he has a background there. This is what I see in football. I really believe this. 10 years from now, I don't think we're going to have tackle football. The way that things are changing, the rules that are changing, I really don't know how to coach tackling anymore. I mean, because you can't control what the other guy's going to do with his helmet. I think there could be some rules that change that really help the game, and they have. They've made the game a little bit safer, but it's now the touchy-feely situation and everything that's going on. Everything has to run through the medical profession, which is right, because I think it's important that we keep the game safe, but yet on the flip side, we're really going overboard with it. It's hard to watch a ball game. Whenever there's a big hit nowadays, and there's no such thing as a big hit, it's going to be flagged. And so I really don't know where our sport is going. And last but not least, and I'll get out of here, that's going to my soapbox thing. There's a thing that's happening with the spread of, I got some officials in the audience, Paul, and my old friends, and Paul threw more flags on me than Flag Day, right, Paul? But there's a thing that's going on now, and it's called the Pop Pass series with offenses. And it's happening in college, it's happening in high school. You heard Nick Saban sort of talk briefly about it. And what's happened with the no-huddle offenses is that the officials mechanically are trying to get in position for the no-huddle offense that's going, that are trying to snap the ball within 14 seconds. And so they're running to get in position. The no-huddle offenses are not getting called for things as much as traditional offenses. And what I mean by that, because these guys are running, it's not that official's fault. The linemen are downfield while the ball is being thrown over the top of a linebacker. And that you look at that, we have odors of film to prove that. Guys are blocking, receivers are blocking down the field when the ball is thrown down the field already. And it can be thrown behind the line of scrimmage, that's fine. But it's called the Pop Pass series, and the ball is thrown there. And the people are doing that, and it's very, very seldom called. And so that it needs to be addressed. It's happening in college balls, and the high schools just emulate what they do. So you're seeing more and more of that throughout. But I really fear for the future of football the way we know it. And the way that, because the coaches now are really doing a great job of trying to teach the right thing out there, high school, college, but yet on the flip side, you can't control, and we've taken away some of the intensity of the game with some of the things that we do with it. Whereas, I've been a proponent, and Mr. Alexander and I talk about this all the time, I would love to see how high school hashes change. I cannot figure out why our high school hashes have to be so wide. And in college is at 20 yards, where it's 17 2/3 yards. And then the pros are on upright. We have the least proficient kickers, and we have to kick way out here. And now on top of that, my high school quarterback cannot reach the far sideline going to pass. So, and why can't we be uniform there? Any other rule? In fact, I lost my starting quarterback for 4 weeks because of a hit right out of bounds. Whereas if his rule in high school that he can throw the ball out of bounds like they have in college and pros, if they have the same rule, that's a safety factor. But we don't have that in high school. So there needs to be some things that need to be addressed with that. And that's a federation thing, and only one, and we belong to the federation. 49 states use federation rules. Only one state, and that's Texas, has NCAA rules. So hopefully we can get on the same page one day where you watch television, all the rules are uniform. Kenny, thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys inviting me. You're always welcome to St. Charles Catholic. I have you're always welcome to come get some coffee. It tastes like 40 weight oil, but you're welcome to it. Thank you very much.
Anybody have any questions for Frank? Raise your hand. We'll get the microphone.
Questions or answers?
Questions or answers? Raise your hand. You gonna let him off that easy?
It sounds like my quarterback club there. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Coach, just to let you know, there are mechanics in our officiating to pick up that illegal man downfield. So if we're doing our job right, we'll shoot catch that.
You're right. You did that. I appreciate you doing that, because that's something that the defensive coaches are really have been throwing a fit about. Because if you're a linebacker, how is he right? You know, if he steps up to take on the guard, and that guard's 5 yards down the field, that poor line, he's going to get fussed if he doesn't take the pass away. He's going to get fussed if he doesn't step up, so he can't win. Okay. Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.